Update, I still need to get new contacts, and pretty sure I overblushed it. It's fine, we're fine. Hey you guys, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me doing the bookish tag, and I was tagged by the lovely Andrea from Andrea Reads. And before I forget, because I'm going to forget, I'm going to go ahead and tag Michaela from Michaela Reads and then TB from TB Kane to do this tag as well, and anyone else who would like to do this tag. But this tag has, I believe, 10 questions, and while 10 questions may not seem like a lot, I talk a lot, so it's probably going to be me talking for a minute. So let's just get into it. So the first question on this list is, how many books do you own? And I tried to do a mental math of this last night. Thought about actually physically counting out some of the books on my shelves and making an estimate on camera. So I'm just going to go with probably around like 90 to 100 books. Probably. Just because I think these two alone like equal probably like 20. Then another like 20, and then about, I could be wrong because I can't do math, but you know. For the second question, it's how many books are you currently reading? The answer is 2. I'm currently reading an arc, and that is a Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. This is a YA historical fiction retelling of Les Mis. I'm about 60% of the way through, and I'm not going to talk about it yet because it's an arc. And I don't think I have any nice things to say at the moment. The next book that I'm reading is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is a continuation from the original Grishaverse trilogy, and we're following Nikolai after the events, probably a couple years after the events of the Grishaverse. Like the other one, I'm about 70% of the way through this book. I need to finish it, and I definitely can finish this much in like the span of like a day, but quarantine been hitting hard this week. The next question is, choose a couple of books you read but didn't enjoy, and for that I have exactly 2, and the first one is Ilustrado by Miguel Ciuco. We all know my qualms with this book. I gave it a 2. I tabbed it to seem like I was trying, and then I realized I wasn't enjoying it and I stopped tabbing it a little close to the end. I think most of the things that the rest of the tabs in this book are just me saying the things I did not like about it. The next book that I did not like was The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is an adult high fantasy novel. It's a chunker. I read it for a buddy read for the past 2 months now, and I gave it a 2. I will also be having my reviews for these books linked down below with my wrap-up. I believe my wrap-up probably articulates my pain with these books a little more than my Goodreads reviews do. Question number 4 is a cover by, and that is The Gospel of Loki by Joanne M. Harris. This is an adult retelling of like Norse mythology and the Loki fiction. I saw this on Instagram and I really enjoyed it. I saw the second book on Instagram and I really enjoyed the cover, and I bought the first book off of, I think, Book Depository or something, or Book Outlet, because it had the UK cover and I just really enjoyed this cover. I haven't had a chance to pick it up yet, but I was just reminded that I own this book, so I'm probably gonna pick it up soon. And like, look at the detail, like the foiling, it happens on the back. Shiny book covers will always get to me and I'll never know why. Maybe I'm just a cat. Question number 5 is a book that I own but hate. At the current moment, that's none of them, because I tend to unhaul the books that I dislike, like even the 2 books that I was disappointed with. I'm probably only going to keep Ilustrado because I tabbed it and I put hard work into it. I'd say I'd keep The Priory of the Orange Tree, but that was such a disappointment and angry moment that it can go away. But yeah, most of the time when I don't like a book or I vehemently dislike it or hate it, I just kind of tend to unhaul it and get it rid of from my shelves, because I don't believe in having books that you dislike and don't really bring you joy on your shelves. I have a collection and I'm going to keep it with books that I actually enjoy and I'm happy with. Question number 6 is a book that I have not read in years, and there are quite a bit, primarily on this shelf right here. There are from like here to here that I have not read in years, but the one I decided to go with is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. This is a YA paranormal thriller situation. I wish I could tell you the full synopsis, but I haven't read this in like 4 years. All I know is it's a paranormal aspect, and I remember how in love my friend and I were with the love interest, who was Noah Shaw, and that's probably the only reason I have kept these books on my shelves, is because I really, really, really like Noah Shaw as a character. The next question is a book that you'll always recommend. Now, I have a lot of books that I tend to always recommend. Some of them you probably know which books that is. But the book that I finally decided to go with is actually When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McLemore. This is a YA magical realism book following Miel, who was found in a pumpkin, I believe, and now grows flowers out of her wrists. And she and this boy, Sam, are kind of growing up together, and like there's a love situation going on, and like as you can tell, the flowers from the wrist kind of imply some magical realism. There is queer rep in this book, as well as Latinx rap and its own voices, because Anna Marie McLemore is both Latinx and queer. Well, actually, Anna Marie McLemore is non-binary, I believe. They came out recently. Yeah, they're non-binary. I love this book for a number of reasons. It was one of the first books of theirs that I read, and I absolutely adored it. I am due for a reread because it's been about like a year or two. But it was such a fun, heartwarming read, and it makes my heart warm. Just very, very warm. Question number 8 is your all-time favorite book series, and I'm gonna have to go with Sweet by Kate Tiernan. This is a YA paranormal romance novel following Morgan, who thinks she's human, and then she meets the mysterious and pretty Cal and finds out she's in fact a witch. And it dives into a bit of like the original like Wiccan roots, and then later dives into more like fantastical elements. I enjoyed this series. This is the bind-up of the first 3 books, and I love this author to death. And honestly, such a good series. It's like YA trash, but it's good YA trash. The next question is question number 9, and that is, where do you read? I literally read everywhere. I can read on my bed, on the floor, on my desk, downstairs in the living room, in the kitchen. I read outside, I read in my car, I read in the office. I read in line at work, or like line in the store. Literally everywhere that I have the option to read. If I don't have to socialize or do anything, I'm gonna do it. So yeah. And the last question, which is surprising to me because this video is not even like 15 minutes yet and we're almost done, is what are the last 2 books that you gave a 5-star rating to? And those 2 are simple, and that is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the sequel to the Six of Crows duology. This is the last book, and it follows this heist story where these master thieves essentially have to try and break someone out of a prison. It's very interesting, very dark. I like it. I think that the writing was done really well, and like top tier Leigh Bardugo. I feel like my hair is just like clumping together and I look like Shirley Temple, but I don't. It's just because my contacts are all wonky, so it's just making shapes look really weird. Like I said, top tier Leigh Bardugo, highly recommend. And the last book that I gave a 5-star rating to is none other than Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. This is the sequel to The Hunger Games, as we all know, following the Hunger Games hype. This follows Katniss Everdeen as she kind of tries to figure out life after the Hunger Games that she participated in, not a year, like a couple weeks before, and we see her try to figure out kind of like the ins and outs of Capitol, and like find out that she's becoming this figurehead for a revolution that she did not really sign up for. It's my favorite book out of the trilogy. We get to meet so many interesting characters, and the setup for the next book was also done really well. And then like we also get introduced to Finnick Odair, who is like by far my favorite and one of the best characters in this trilogy. But that is it for this book tag. It's a really short book tag this time around. I'm not nearly as talkative, but considering I have a vlog coming up for this next video, most of my energy is going to be going to that. If you guys have done this book tag, please let me know your answers down below. I'd love to hear them. If you guys haven't yet and you wanted to like have a reason to do this and you weren't on the list of people that I tagged, then you are now tagged. You are now welcome to do this. But until next time, hit like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in my next video. Oh! I mentioned this in my vlog, but that's coming later than this video. But I reached 500 this month, 500 subscribers. Yes. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and like watching my videos. I know I babble a lot, as you guys can clearly tell, and sometimes I'm not always coherent. But it really means a lot to me that you guys are all have subscribed to me, and some of you guys have been subscribed to me for a long time. Some of you guys are new, some of you guys are always commenting, some of you guys are more silent followers, which that's fine with me. But really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for getting me here. Did not think that 3 years ago that I would be here at all. I just kind of started this booktube on a whim because I wanted to talk about books and I didn't have friends who talked about books with me, so. But again, thank you so much, and I definitely will have an idea for like the 500 mark. I just haven't 500 happened really fast all of a sudden. Like before it was happening really slow, as you guys might have seen. I was like teetering between like 490 and then 489. So I was like, you know, I probably have time to think of like a 500 thing. And then I wake up and I have like 500 subscribers. So we're here. But if you guys have any ideas for what you want me to do for like a 500 thing, maybe like, I don't know if I want to do a Q&A or something. I'll figure it out. But if you guys have any suggestions for that, just let me know. But if not, I'll figure it out. And somehow magically I probably will reach 600 before I figure out what I'm going to be doing for my 500 mark. But until next time, like I said, hit like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys everywhere else. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and until then, bye.